So does anybody here remember the CGI animated cartoon Donkey Kong Country? It was to say the least, interesting show. It had its moments. However, the show didn't run for very long, only having 2 seasons and 40 episodes, and ran in the US from August of 1997 to July of 2000, while it aired in France just a year before. Because it was later dubbed in English from French, the lip-syncing was very bad, and the animation was just atrocious, even for 1996. Anyways, the reason why I decided to tell you what happened is so that nobody else goes and looks for hidden or lost episodes of shows on the net, although you probably will anyways. That's fine, go ahead. But I'm not responsible for anything you might come across. Now, what I'm going to tell you is going to be extremely strange. You've been warned. Now on to the main story. So how did I come across this episode, you might ask? Well, you're probably thinking I picked it up at a Goodwill store or from a flea market for free. That's all false. I actually came across this just from simply surfing the web, looking for episodes of the Donkey Kong Country cartoon after a friend of mine reminded me of the show's existence and how hilariously bad the animation was. Now, keep in mind that I hadn't seen the show since I was 10, so I didn't remember what the show looked like. I started searching a couple hours later out of curiosity to see for myself if it was really as bad as he had told me it was. Well, he certainly was true. I first tried going on YouTube, but the episodes I found were either very bad quality, incomplete, or greeted me with a message, "This video has been removed." I then tried going on to various video sharing sites, to no avail. Then I remembered that there was a forum I used to go on, and we would talk about shows that were cancelled, or episodes of shows that were delayed, banned, or cancelled. Such as the infamous Electric Slide or Porygon Pokemon episode. For privacy reasons, I'd rather not mention the name of the forum. But it was focused on TV topics, that's all I'll give out here. Despite the fact I hadn't logged on for about 2 years, my account was still up. Which I was glad about because I didn't feel like making another email account just for one website and not being able to post my question until 24 hours had passed. But anyways, I went to the banned episodes part of the forum, curious on if there was any banned episodes of the show that possibly didn't make it to the airwaves. I don't remember the exact post I made, but it went along the lines of introducing myself again after 2 years of inactivity, and then asked if there was any episodes that didn't make it on the air due to any reason. I posted my thread, then waited. It wasn't until about 3 hours later that I received a couple answers. Most of them only said that the show simply didn't air in their country, or posts from others that were just welcoming me back and didn't answer my question. I then received a PM from a user named Milkak. I know, a really weird name. Their message said the following. Hi there, I wanted to respond to your thread about if there was any episodes of the Donkey Kong Country TV series that didn't receive any airtime on television, but the administrator seemed to lock it. So I'll talk to you from here. I used to be involved in the show. Well, sort of. I had long vacations. Our studio was called Nelvana. If you live in Canada you may be familiar with this studio. We were responsible for putting the episodes into English from the original French dialogue. But sometimes we did make slight changes to the graphics. But almost to the point of there being no visible difference unless you looked really close. I thought that was rather pointless. But what I'm trying to get at here is, to answer your question, there was indeed one episode that didn't make it to TV, mainly due to copyright reasons. The production company in France, forgive me, I forgot the name, wanted to use more of Rare's characters to possibly promote the then upcoming games, Banjo-Kazooie, and 12 Tales, Conquer 64, which was being shown at E3 that year in 1998, which later became the game, Conker's Bad Fur Day, which if you don't know, became an M-rated game. In 2000, Nelvana showed Nintendo the episode, or at least, the 10 minutes of the episode that we had completed then, and they were not happy campers. Nintendo didn't want Rare's characters to appear in a show that was doing very horribly, and also didn't want to have a character that was due to star in a mature game appear in a show that was targeted at children, despite the version of Conker that appeared in the episode was the one that had appeared in the game, Diddy Kong Racing. Also, the episode was darker in tone compared to the other episodes, which test audiences were not so happy about as well. Parents took their children out of the room angrily about 10 minutes in. As a result, the episode and the series was cancelled and soon forgotten about by Nelvana and Nintendo. Until I and a couple of former employees of Nelvana decided to revive the episode and finish it just for ourselves. We fixed the animation, the voices, everything. We always had wondered what the episode would have looked like if it was finished, so we did just that in 2003. It wasn't until 2005 that I converted it from a VHS to a WMV file, however. So I'm including the episode in the download link below. I uploaded it to Mediafire several months ago, but it should still work fine. Best regards, name withheld. I was both baffled and excited by the whole message. Who would have thought that somebody who worked on the English dub and completed a then cancelled episode was on these forums? Of course, at first I had my doubts, thinking it was a kid just looking for attention, but then I realized that a child couldn't know all these details about what had happened at the studio in such detail. I clicked the download link, and everything worked fine, like he said in the letter. The name of the file was a little odd though. It was given a file name, NINTENDOWEUSEDRARESCHERSANYWAYSWMV, but I figured that it was them joking that they used more of Rare's characters, despite the protests from Nintendo. I clicked open, expecting a media player window to pop up, but instead, Windows Media Center appeared. What? I didn't record anything, I said in confusion. But I just assumed that my computer was acting up again. It always had slight problems ever since I upgraded it to Windows 7. The episode appeared in Media Center. Again, something strange. For some reason it appeared as a TV recording. I tried to ignore the issue and just hit play. I really wanted to see this mysterious episode. What follows is bizarre. The intro played, and I noticed almost right away that almost all the Kongs except Dixie, Diddy and Tiny were missing. The character models were updated and looked much better than the original ones they gave in the show, from photos that I've seen. Tiny's appearance was similar to that of the recent look she's given now, except slightly more short. Diddy's appearance looked the same as he did in the Mario spin-off games, nothing odd there. Dixie looked normal, as far as I know. The music, however, wasn't normal at all. I was expecting jungle music. What played instead was death metal music, with plenty of screaming. As soon as I heard that, I howled with laughter, because it seemed very out of place for a Nintendo-related video. But again, I thought it was a joke the people working on the episode put in. Before the intro ended, it showed Diddy, Dixie, and Tiny all together smiling. I also noticed they were located at the Home Run Contest Stadium that's from Smash Bros. Melee. Decided to switch the locations a bit. When the music stopped, the camera tipped over and pointed at the blue sky. It faded and cut to a title card. The title card wasn't very original, I should say. In fact, there wasn't any name of the episode. The default wallpaper that's on Windows XP was used as a background. Text that used the Microsoft Sans Serif font was shown, although all that was typed was produced by, again, story by Nevalda. There was also a picture of one character on the lower right corner that I instantly knew was Banjo the Bear. He had a pretty good looking model. However, he had his fist in the air, looking furious for whatever reason. He was standing on a pile of hay. In the hay I saw a shoe, which looked like Conker's. Also, if you're wondering if Kazooie appeared, there wasn't any sign of her. The episode starts showing a nice day on the island with Diddy and Dixie sitting down together at what looks like a harbor. They are talking about something, but it's muffled. This goes on for about a minute. A boat then appears, and lo and behold, it's Mario that appears from the boat and he proceeds to tie a rope to the dock. Now I'm pretty sure Mario never appeared in the show, so this was new. His character model here looked like the one from Mario Sunshine, except without FLUDD. Mario seems to act very edgy here, which is odd. Suddenly, Banjo comes out from a nearby barn in a hurry and starts yelling his typical gibberish at Mario. Mario just pushes him out of the way, dropping Banjo in the water. It cuts to Diddy and Dixie looking at the camera with freaked out expressions. The video acts up for a couple of seconds as if it was footage of someone cartridge tilting a game and shows Banjo coming out of the barn again. This time, instead of Mario, Conker appears, who is playing in a nearby flower bush next to the barn. Banjo runs to Conker, grabs him and whips him to the wall of the barn, making a pile of hay from the top trapdoor give way underneath. Banjo walks up to him and you get a good close-up of Banjo's face that shows complete anger. Once he gets to the hay, the screen turns black. At this point I could see why parents took their kids out of the screening room when this was shown to test audiences. This was a bit dark for Nintendo. The screen was black for about a minute. It then suddenly cut to footage that I instantly knew was from E3 2001. It was when Shigeru Miyamoto first introduced Super Smash Bros. Melee. However, an audio file of what sounded like two Japanese men having an argument was played over the video. But you could still hear Miyamoto talking. After 3 minutes of this, it jump cut to poor quality footage of Nintendo 64 games. During the sequences, you hear the same death metal music that was played in the intro, except now with a constant sound of bats screeching, which was quite loud. The first clip was of Mario Party 1 at the intro. You know, where it says, it's Mario and his friends. But it looks like something's wrong. An R in a circle? This went on for about 2 minutes, then froze. It then switched to Pokemon Stadium footage of the Clefairy minigame. When the teacher used the hammer, it froze yet again and that sound stopped. After the sequence of N64 footage ended, the rest of the video was black and white. Banjo sat on top of the hay with a much calmer face than before. Conker's foot stuck out from the hay and his shoe was missing. It pans out to the front of the barn, where Banjo has now locked the barn door and has Diddy and Dixie pounding on the door, demanding to get in. Diddy and Dixie, however, are speaking in French. I guess they decided not to bother dubbing this part into English. The video zooms out and the audio of Diddy and Dixie yelling faded out. You then hear a Japanese woman talking in a very happy voice. I thought the episode had ended there, but it didn't. While the video portion of the episode had gone away, the audio didn't. You hear Diddy and Dixie finally open the barn door after banging something heavy against it. You then hear Diddy and Dixie screaming and crying for about 30 seconds. I guess they saw what Banjo had done to Conker. Whether Conker was dead or just knocked out, I'll never know. The audio fades out, and the episode finally ends. After it ended, I sat there for a couple minutes trying to figure out what in the world I just watched. Well, to put a long story short, I deleted the video from the computer. Now I can really see why this episode didn't make it on TV. I'm pretty certain kids would be either confused or just plain freaked out. I also, since then, have watched other episodes of Donkey Kong Country, and those were weird. But this one just trumped them all.